You know, Rick, last week 6 players scored 30 or more fantasy points.
That's the most since 2011.
And this week starts the last run of buys.
6 teams are off this week, so your starters could turn into free agent finds.
Any lineup questions, hit us up Facebook and Twitter.
You know, Rob, each week we talk about who's on the rise.
And that's great if you own those players.
But this week we'll talk about who's not on the rise.
Who hit the skates?
Who's trending down.
And it starts with Nick Foles.
He didn't score 30 points on Sunday, even though he attempted 62 passes.
And you can expect that Philadelphia ground game to pick up now that Darren Sproles is back.
In New England, expect Shane Vereen to lose some steam.
Rick, it's one thing to lose 17 carries to a backup.
But he had 2 carries inside the 2-yard line and couldn't get it done.
Not good. Now, what about the Cardinals' Michael Floyd?
In the last 2 games, Floyd has 7 targets combined, but it gets worse.
Yeah, last week he had the opportunity to make a big play down the field against Philadelphia and dropped it.
Then in the 4th quarter, when they needed a big play, they went to John Brown, and he got it done. These things matter.
Yeah, and finally, the Denver Broncos offense expected to take a slight step
You
back.
say, Rick, they're a high flyer, but think about it this way.
They've only played 2 road games so far.
They still got to play 4 of 5 and 6 of their next 8 away from home.
Yeah, we're not saying bench the Broncos offense, but don't expect big, huge numbers.
All right, let's switch it up.
This week we decided to take some questions from Reddit.
So these are real random questions from real random owners.
We start with Sasquatch90. He has Brian Quick and has to drop him. He wants to know Brandon LaFell's or Doug Baldwin.
You know, LaFell, he's the sexy free agent ad this week.
But Baldwin's the smart ad. He's got 19 targets since Percy Harvin was traded.
Yeah, Belichick likes to mix his offensive weapons up. Look for Baldwin to be the more reliable, productive guy going forward.
All right, the next owner is I Am Shadowban 2. He wants to know...
Pick 1, Odell Beckham, Deshaun Jackson, or Mohamed Sanu.
Now, while we love Beckham long-term, we're going to go with Jackson right now.
Yeah, good matchup against Minnesota. Expect one of those Jackson trademark long touchdowns.
And the last user is Maven13. He wants to know simply Palmer or Romo.
Good question, because those quarterbacks are playing each other.
And what it comes down to is Romo's hurt and Palmer's hot.
But did you know?
Carson Palmer's thrown at least 2 touchdown passes in each of his starts this season.
It's worth waiting a week on Romo's health.
Plus, the Cowboys should be sticking to the run anyway.
Just like you should be sticking with us each week.
We want to thank all the Reddit users for their questions.
We love your free content.
I'm Rob.
I'm Rick.
We'll see you next week
on the 2-Minute Drill.